All right, Hakan, you're going to go ahead and play first for us. Just give me a moment to set up the piece for you. Okay, so Hakan, tell us the name of your piece and who the
Uh,
composer is.
the piece I will be playing is Peter Pan's Flight.
All right.
Can I start?
Yes, you can. Nicely done, Hakan. So I just want to look at one quick thing here with your piece. You play it very fluently. Let's go ahead and see if we can incorporate some dynamics. Do you know the difference between forte and mezzo piano?
Yeah.
How would you describe forte to the class? What does
Uh,
that mean?
is loud,
And then how about mezzo piano?
is quiet.
Soft, yes. So
Yeah.
essentially you're playing loudly at first and then softly the second time around. So let's go ahead and just play the first, let's see here.
Oh,
I just want to go ahead and we're not going to play the whole thing again. We're just going to play a small section. I want you to focus on playing nice and loudly for the class.
okay.
This one section here because it's forte. And then make sure you instantly play softly when it's time to play mezzo piano. Sometimes you see a crescendo mark, but in this piece, you just get right into that new dynamic marking.
Okay.
Good. And then one bonus thing, I wanted to take a look at your staccato versus your legato. Do you know the difference between legato versus staccato markings?
Um, I don't really know.
So I think you do. You were playing it earlier. I'll go ahead and refresh your memory. So notice in the left hand, you were playing the A perfectly, connecting to the E. Legato means connected. So these two notes, they're connected, right? This is left hand. But then notice these dots here that indicates that you're going to play detached. So make sure those notes aren't connected. So you played it very close. You were playing, but I want you to bounce off of the high E. Can you bounce?
Let's go for it.
Yeah, so make sure they're both staccato. You played just the last one. So long, short, short, long, short, short.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that. Really good. Nicely done. All right, Hakan, we'll go ahead and move on to the next performer. Thank you so much for playing for us. I'll see you next time. All right, next up. I have allergies, y'all. Forgive me. Weston, you are up next. What are you playing for us today? Who's the composer of your piece?
I'm playing Sonata in G Romanza, and I don't think there's a composer. Or
Okay, they're just not listed here. You're okay.
yeah,
Are you playing repeat signs or just one time through?
one time through.
Okay, whenever you're ready. Nicely done, Weston. Overall, you're playing it very confidently. I want you to practice in Kaizen just with a pulse or a metronome, a bit slower than what you've been playing it. So when you're counting, it's very consistent when you know it very well, the opening piece. But as you get into the piece, you tend to fluctuate a little bit. So you're playing quickly and then you slow it down quite a bit. So I want to go ahead and focus on, let's just play the first two lines this time around. But I want you to play it significantly slower. So one and can we play it around that speed? Because you're playing it very well, but then you tend to slow down drastically. So let's just start from the very beginning, nice and slowly. Nice. So it's also a rhythmic thing here as well. So you're essentially pausing quite a bit in between one measure. So instead of playing one and two and one, you're playing one and two and one and so you're adding like an extra beat in between. That's where I put those lines. Yeah, play just the right hand by itself, so we can really fix those gaps. Let's try that one more time, just the right hand. Yeah, so right here, so notice this part is one, so one and two and there it is. Good. So essentially what I'm having you play is this rhythm here. You have that gap right here, one and a two. You fix it that time around. But when you play with the pulse in Kaizen, what metronome marking are you using?
I don't use a metronome.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and start using that going forward. It's really going to help you tie in that pulse and make it consistent with the rhythm. I would also encourage clapping out the rhythm before you play it. So two and one. And don't count the grace notes. You can add that in later. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on from there. That sounds really good. Let's just work on that next time in Kaizen. So next time you play, we can clean those rhythmic issues up. But overall, it sounded really good. I like the way you're playing it. It's just that small little error right there. But this is really good otherwise. All right. Next up, we have Mishka. What are you playing for us today?
My name is Mishka, and I'm gonna play Bagatelle.
All right. Are you playing the repeat? Are you playing the repeat signs or just one time through?
I'm just going one time through it.
Okay.
Well, okay, can I start? Um,
Here, let's try to play it as slowly as you can. So instead of trying to play it too quickly, play it nice and slowly. Don't worry about the speed, okay? Nicely done. Thank you for that, Mishka. I love how you added in your dynamic markings here. This is what I was talking to Hakan about earlier. It sounds great. So I'm going to go ahead and just focus on this a bit more. So can you tell the class how what do you do when you play softer or softly versus loudly? So your technique, how do you play softly and loudly? Can you tell the class what you're doing?
When I play softly, I
So specifically with your wrists or your fingers, how are you pressing the notes versus playing
I'm
loudly?
playing them light. I'm pressing the notes lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I play softer.
Yeah, I like that. And then loudly, you're adding more force or more weight. So I don't want everyone thinking to play loudly, you have to bang on the keys. You don't bang on them, you just add more weight. You already come into contact with the note and you essentially just add a little bit more weight. Also with playing piano, you want to make sure you're using your fingertips and just your wrist very lightly. You don't want to use your whole arm. This is where forte comes in because you're adding more weight to that upper part of your arm. But piano is strictly with your fingers and sometimes your wrist. But overall, I love the way you played, especially your crescendo right here. Great job with that. All right, Mishka. So I would just go ahead and focus on, as I mentioned to Weston earlier, I just want you to focus on using a metronome to speed it up, but also just be able to play it more comfortably. Playing it slowly is not a bad thing, especially if the piece is slow. But this one is actually rather quick, and Vivace is fast. So you want to make sure you're using a metronome. I would say maybe start off around 65 beats per minute like it was today, and then you can slowly speed it up by increments of 5. So then 70, 75, 80, and work your way up that way. And I'll leave some notes for you, but dynamics were great. Really good job with that. All right, Mishka, thank you. Anaya, what are you playing for us today?
Hello, my name is Anaya, and I'll be playing our detective agency.
Nice job. All right, now you're playing it very comfortably. And I think I noticed when you were playing your dynamic changes as well. Is your piano touch sensitive? So if you like press a note loudly versus softly, will you hear the volume change?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. So when you're playing forte, I like how when you found piano, you realize, oh, I should be playing slowly. So you caught on about towards the end of measure 5 into measure 6 and then down here as well. Let's go ahead and hone in on that just a bit. So when you're playing the beginning piece, it starts off nice and soft. And then the forte, I noticed that, sorry, no, right here, the second part. You're playing nice and loudly here. And then notice when you had the repeat, kind of this call and response happening here. You caught on, and you started playing slowly a little bit later. So let's actually take it from the top right here, or from the blue section. So go ahead and play nice and loudly, but then instantly when you see the red, play the same thing but softly.
Okay.
And you want to make sure that you can still have the staccatos as well. So can we go ahead and make sure we can really hear the difference also with your staccatos versus your legato? So nice and detached here, and then nice and connected here.
Okay.
All right, really good. I know another trick that I heard as well when you're playing on the piano, to play it nice and softly, you can even lower your wrist below the keys of the piano just a bit. So this is your piano. I should have my camera up right now. You're not going to play forte, right? When you're playing softly, just lower your wrist a little bit to where it's leveled with the keys, and that'll really help you use just your fingertips because you don't have your wrist to help you. So essentially lower your wrist just a little bit, and that's going to help you play softly. So let's try it one more time to really hear that difference.
Okay.
There it is. Nicely done. Great job. There's a lot of articulation and dynamics in these pieces. I love it. All right. Next up, or last but not least, What do we have here? Maddie. Hey, Maddie, are you playing the whole piece this time around?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can afford to. Tore my shirt to stop you bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home, I'm on my own. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that. Don't you know too much already? I'll only hurt you if you let me. Call me friend, but keep me closer. I'll call you when the party's over. Quiet when I'm coming home, I'm on my own. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that. But nothing is better sometimes. Once we both said our goodbyes, oh, let's just let it go. Oh, let me let you go. Quiet when I'm coming, quiet when I'm coming. Wait. Quiet when I'm coming home, I'm on my own. I can lie and say I like it like that. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that. I can lie and say I like it like that, like it like that.
Awesome job, Maddie. I love when you played last week or the week before that as well. I thought it was the same piece at first, and then I realized it wasn't. But this was really good. So the ending is a bit different. That is a bit different from the beginning.
Yeah.
Zoom out a bit. Yeah, so those can be a bit tricky. I play lead sheets as well, and it can be really tricky with where the notes are and in concordance to where the words are as well. So good job keeping up with that, because sometimes lead sheets may have the note in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
But let's look at that really quickly. So they took out a couple of chords, I believe, some passing chords. So from B to A, essentially, at the very end, you don't see the B. And even here, from A to C sharp, they take out the B completely, if I'm correct. So it's a bit different here. I noticed that you played a chord a bit earlier, probably because of how it was in the beginning. But overall, it sounded great. I would really focus on just the ending now, because it was flowing so well. And even at the end, you were doing well. There were just some hiccups here and there, and I think it was because of the chord changes. But overall, that was great. So just next time you practice, and this is for everyone as well, when you practice a piece that's difficult, when you first sit down at the piano, or the microphone in this case, you want to make sure that you get right into where you're having issues. Playing piano is very taxing mentally. It's like a workout for the brain, literally. So you want to make sure you're using all that power to focus on where you need help the most. A lot of students, including myself, we like to sit down and we play from the very beginning because it's fun, right? We're playing our favorite piece. But if we know the beginning so well, we're playing it for 5, 10 minutes. The last 5 minutes, we finally get into what we're having trouble with. We're not going to be as focused. We're going to get irritated easily. And we'll say, I'll get to it next time. And then the cycle repeats. So you should flip that going forward. Always focus on what's the hardest part. And then you can go ahead and play the fun stuff if you have some time at the end. So hopefully you all take that from this lesson, if nothing else. But everyone did very well today. Were there any questions at all before we end today's class? All right. Well, great job, everyone. I enjoyed myself. I hope you all did as well. I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you later.